How's it going, everyone? Thanks for stopping in. Today we're going to be working on the EG Civic hatch, and we're going to be using some power tools on it today. So I've been talking about it for a while now. We're going to be cutting the rear wheel arches. So there's that big lip in the quarter panel that stops me from having good rear fitment and airing the car out all the way. So I'll show you here on this Nova real quick. You can see this lip here can come and get cut back. And on my Civic, it does the same thing. So rather than the tire sitting real close to the quarter panel, it has to have a bunch of camber and get sunk way underneath the car. So we're gonna take the Nova and we're gonna switch places with the Civic. We'll put the Civic on the lift. We'll get the wheels zipped off of it, and we'll just start taking a grinder with a flap disc to that quarter panel. We'll keep checking the paint, make sure it doesn't get too hot. And hopefully by the end of tonight, we've got those rear wheel arches dialed in. Okay, now we got the car up on the lift. You guys just saw us move the Nova and stuff and get the car over here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this lip and grind this down, because the tire is not only sitting really far into the car, the other side of this tire, the inside, actually rubs on this fitting in here, and I can also see where it has been hitting on the airline as well, which obviously that's no good. If I'm somewhere, I air the car out, I come back out from wherever I am, get in the car and go to air it up, and this fitting broke off, it's gonna be a really bad day. So let's get these wheels off, and then I guess we'll just get the grinder and the flap disc out and just start going to work. Okay, so I've got my Sharpie now. I've got my flap disc. This does look like a pretty new one, so it should bite quite a bit of material. So what we'll do is we'll probably take it pretty slow. But I got the Sharpie here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark an area above the wheel, and then we'll probably do maybe a 10-inch section here, because we don't wanna bring it all the way down. And we still need to leave bite for the bumper here to mount to and stuff, so we don't want to take a ton away from this unless we have to. But right now we're just got a starting point of where we'll be. Ideally, I should have left this wheel on and then aired this bag completely out. That way I can move this all up and down. But I'm just gonna get going because I've got a general idea of where I need to be. So we're gonna mark this out and we'll just start grinding it away. And then once I've got a section that I think is good enough, I'll actually test it out by doing what I just said, letting the air out of the bag and then jacking this up and down. And then we'll take that info and then we'll apply it to the other side. There we are, we've got a general mark. Now that we can go by, it's pretty center line with the wheel, or this hub, where the wheel will be. And we'll just kind of bring this back, and then we'll just feather it into the edges that we don't end up grinding down. And there we are. I think this side's done. Honestly, I don't really see it needing any more than this, just because the majority of where the wheel sits is basically maxed out. But there it is. Much, much better. Very big difference. So now we should hopefully be able to get this wheel right out against this lip. So I guess now that this side's done, we'll just let it cool, move on to the other side. And I'm probably just gonna do this exact same thing. I mean, there's nothing here is gonna be like too much. So I'm not really worried about it. The only thing is if you just don't take off enough material. Just finish up here on the passenger side. It came out pretty well. I filmed about half of this one and then stopped just because I wanted to give the camera a chance to get some charge, and then also wanted to let this cool for a little bit. And as you can see, this side is basically the same as the other one. Should have plenty of clearance now to get that wheel and tire out away from the inside, especially that airbag and that airline. What we'll do now is we'll put one of the wheels on, and I'll take one of the airlines off so we can get all the air out of this bag, and then we will check to see how close the wheel is to this quarter panel. So I just undid that airbag line, drained the airbag, and we're going to put 2 lug nuts on this. And I will get a jack of some sort so I can pick this up, and we'll see where we are in terms of the quarter panel. I had to lift the car up quite a bit just so I could get this jack underneath it. I'm just jacking up on the lower control arm now. So we're completely at air out height, and you can see all that room now. I can stick my whole hand up in here. Right here gets a little tight, but the rest of this all looks good. Airbag is actually completely bottomed out. So now if we were to bring this camber out, I mean, this would look amazing. Our camber adjustment is actually right there. So what I'm gonna do is set you guys up on the tripod, and we're going to bring this out and see what happens. Wow, that looks amazing. I'm so stoked on that. I've been needing to do this literally forever. I'm gonna keep pushing it out. Okay, so that looks absolutely bananas. And like I just said, it's the craziest it's ever looked, and it's needed to be this way for a long time. So here's your head-on view of what it looks like. we're gonna do an alignment and stuff on it pretty soon. I think that may be in the next video. But now that I got that side to sit how I want, I'm super stoked. I can put this side back together too. I'm gonna have to put this airline back on. And there's so much room now between the tire and that air fitting, which is exactly what I needed as well. So now that we're pretty much done with the grinding and we've got the wheels back on and impacted, we are going to pick up the tools and the helmet, as well as the adjustable wrench for adjusting the camber settings. We're gonna put all that stuff away and then I guess just let the car down. I'm gonna have to put some air in this rear bag because when I let the car down, being that there's no air in it, it's just gonna wanna completely compress. So let's pick all these tools up. And there's your final look at the current state of the Civic. I think that once we dial in that rear, it's gonna be absolute money. I wish that I could have aired the car out completely, but I've been having an issue with the battery and of course it's dead. So what we're gonna do is next video, we are going to be doing an alignment on this car because the front is already done because I had that done like 500 miles ago, which was like 2 years ago, but I haven't driven the car much. But now that I've messed with the rear camber on the driver's side, we have to straighten out the toe, make sure that that's good. And then we can also play around with spacers potentially so that we can still keep camber, but it just be closer to that quarter panel. But yeah, we got to get the toe all set up. We have toe plates here in the shop, so we can actually do it correctly and make sure that it is dialed in 100%. That way we don't have toe wear, because that's normally what kills tires. But we'll just set the camber up to whatever looks good, and then we'll match it on the other side. But we won't be touching the front for now, just because I don't have a ton of camber adjustment with that factory setup as much as I do in the rear. I can do a ton of corrections in the rear with toe and camber, but I don't have that same luxury with the front. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, we're gonna be doing an alignment in the next video, so catch that one in 3 days from now. And in the meantime, make sure you keep your eyes peeled on shorts. Usually they're related to this car or my RX-7 or stuff that's car related. And those shorts usually come anywhere between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So keep a lookout on that. Sometimes, because I have all of them auto scheduled to come out at 5, but what tends to happen is it seems like the algorithm like picks them up in a weird way and will only display them to like 200 or 300 people. Whereas if I then just immediately repost it like 30 minutes later, they get like 2,000 views. So keep an eye out on those. Whatever is out by 7 p.m. that day is going to be whatever's there. If it's something that I post twice or 3 times and it doesn't get many views, then I'm just gonna take it as it's something people don't wanna watch. So anyways, thank you guys for hanging out while we work on the Civic. Disappointing we didn't get it to air out and take a look at it, but we will have that footage definitely in the next video. It's just late tonight and I have had enough and don't feel like jump starting this. So we'll see you next time.